The ocean has 9 layers. And by the time you reach the last one, the pressure is strong enough to crush a submarine like a soda can. Layer 1. The sunlit zone. 0 to 200 meters. This is the ocean you already know. Bright blue water, coral reefs, dolphins, sea turtles, basically every ocean photo you've ever seen on the internet. 90% of all marine life lives here. Sunlight reaches all the way down, plants can grow, photosynthesis happens just like on land. Sounds nice, right? Peaceful, sunny, relaxing. Yeah, enjoy it. Because this is the only layer that's going to feel like that. We're about to go somewhere a lot less friendly. Layer 2. The twilight zone. 200 to 1000 meters. Sunlight is now barely getting through. It's just a dim blue-gray haze, like watching the world through sunglasses inside a closet. This is where things start getting weird. Fish here have giant eyes to capture whatever tiny bit of light exists. Some creatures start glowing on their own just to see anything at all. This is also where sharks like to hunt, using the low light to ambush prey from below. And here's the part that should worry you. We're still only at 1000 meters. The ocean's average depth is 3,700 meters. We have barely started. Layer 3. The midnight zone. 1000 to 400 meters. This is where sunlight officially gives up completely. Zero light. Forever. Permanently. The pressure here is already 100 times what you feel on the surface. This is home to the anglerfish, the one with the glowing lure growing out of its head, and the vampire squid, whose actual scientific name translates to vampire squid from hell. Scientists named it that. On purpose. 76% of creatures down here make their own light because the ocean refused to give them any. We are now deeper than almost every human being will ever go in their entire life. And there's still 6 layers left. Layer 4. The abyssal zone. 400 to 600 meters. The word abyssal comes from the Greek word for bottomless. That's not poetic exaggeration. That's literally what ancient people assumed when they thought about water this deep. The temperature here sits at a permanent 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. No sunlight has ever touched this layer. Not once. Not for a single second in Earth's history. And yet, life exists here. Giant isopods, sea cucumbers the size of footballs, and deep-sea worms that survive off chemicals leaking from the ocean floor instead of food from the sun. This covers 60% of the entire planet's surface. 60%. More than every continent combined. And almost nobody has ever seen it. Layer 5. The Hadal Zone. 6,000 to 11,000 meters. Named after Hades, the Greek god of the underworld. That should tell you everything you need to know about what scientists think of this place. The pressure here is over 1,000 times what you feel at the surface. If you went down here without protection, your body wouldn't just get crushed, your lungs would collapse before you even realized what was happening. This layer only exists in ocean trenches, deep narrow cracks in the sea floor. And yet somehow, even here, in crushing blackness at the literal edge of survivable physics, fish still live. Tiny, pale, almost translucent fish, built specifically to survive pressure that would instantly kill almost every other organism on Earth. Layer 6 isn't really a layer. It's a location. The Mariana Trench. The deepest known point on planet Earth. 11,034 meters straight down. If you put Mount Everest inside the Mariana Trench, the peak would still be over 2,000 meters underwater. Only 3 crewed vehicles have ever reached the bottom in human history. 3. We have sent more people to the surface of the moon than to the deepest point of our own planet. The pressure at the bottom is over 1,100 times surface pressure. That's the equivalent of 50 jumbo jets stacked on top of your body at once. And somehow, scientists still found shrimp-like creatures living there. Layer 7, Hydrothermal Vents. Layer 7 isn't about depth. It's about something stranger. Hydrothermal vents. These are underwater volcanoes, cracks in the ocean floor spewing water heated to 400 degrees Celsius, water that should be boiling instantly, except the pressure down here is so extreme it stays liquid. Around these vents exists an entire ecosystem that survives without sunlight. Ever. At all. Giant tube worms, blind crabs, and bacteria that eat chemicals instead of food, creating life from literally nothing the sun ever touched. This discovery in 1977 broke a rule scientists thought was absolute, that all life on Earth depends on sunlight. Turns out the ocean had been breaking that rule the entire time. We just hadn't looked yet. Layer 8, the creatures that rule down here. Layer 8. Let's talk about who's actually in charge down here. The colossal squid. Up to 14 meters long, eyes the size of basketballs, the biggest eyes of any animal that has ever existed on Earth. The frilled shark. A living fossil that looks unchanged for 80 million years, with rows of needle-like teeth built to trap prey that can't escape. The giant isopod. A bug the size of a house cat, living quietly at depths most submarines can't reach. None of these animals know we exist. None of them have ever seen sunlight. None of them have ever seen a human. And we've only documented a small fraction of what's actually down there. Layer 9, what we haven't found yet. Final layer. Not a depth. A fact. We have explored less than 5% of the entire ocean. 5%. We have better maps of the surface of Mars than we do of our own ocean floor. We've put more cameras on the moon than we have at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. In 2021, scientists found 30 new species in a single deep-sea expedition. In 2023, a research vessel filmed something massive moving at the edge of camera range off the coast of Chile. It moved away before anyone could identify it. Nobody knows what it was. We've gone through all 9 layers today. But the ocean still has answers we don't. And somewhere down there, in complete darkness, something is still waiting to be found.